Hey guys, Rod here at A Better Way to Farm. It is exciting to have you tuned in tonight. We are going to talk about the little things, the really, really little things. We titled this, Does 1/10 of 1 part per million make a difference? The answer is yes. Tonight specifically, I want to talk about boron in your corn, because I know a lot of us planted late and a lot of us are just now a week to 10 days before tassel. Now, if you just go into Google and type boron in corn, and you can get a lot of information. Now, some of it's not real good information. There was one particular author that put up a deal, and he said, the two most important micronutrient deficiencies we see are potassium and boron. Of course, the problem with that is apparently he didn't understand that potassium is actually a major nutrient. It's a macronutrient, not a micronutrient. So we want to be careful and make sure that the people that are writing on Google are people who are actually worthy of listening to. But guys, here's the deal. We are totally convinced that there are different ways to do things. Totally convinced that doing it differently is the key to doing it better. That is the key to more success. And so consequently, we would have preferred that everyone tested their boron levels in their soil. And there's multiple places on there. Mycogen had a deal up. They were talking about what is sufficient, what is deficient. And Mycogen will say, according to what they believe, that you need at least 1 part per million in soil of boron. And very, very few people have that. And they talk about what the deficiency and the sufficiency levels are. And we have very few people who are sufficient. And we need to apply that boron in order to meet that need. And then we can come back in and tissue test, and I'm going to suggest that if you're getting ready, you're within a week or 10 days of tasseling, it might be time to seriously address this boron issue, because you can fly it on, you can spray it on with fungicide, you can put it on with chemicals, you can put it on through the Y drops. However you're going out there works. The only wrong way to use boron is in the trench. We never put it in the seed trench. So that being said, what does it do? Well, there's a lot of different people out there, but they talk about how important boron is to get adequate uptake of potassium and phosphorus. And guys, we're already, as you guys know from the 12 nutrients of Christmas, we realize that all of these nutrients interact with other nutrients. And one of the interactions is how does that potassium move into that plant, and how does it get moved around inside that plant? And boron's one of the keys that help with that. But the big thing we want to talk about here in regards to the boron tonight is it has a ton to do, because everything I looked at said reproductive, reproductive, reproductive. If you have twisted ears, it's probably a boron deficiency. If you don't get good ear fill, if you don't get, it starts setting back, especially on one side, you get a zipper or whatever, probably boron. Because boron has a lot to do with how much pollen do we produce, and how many silks do we put out, and how many healthy silks and how much healthy pollen do we have. Because we really want to line those up. We want the nick to be correct, and we want to make sure that we have all of the silks emerging so they can all turn brown, because then each one of those can turn into a kernel. We also know that boron will have something to do with how do we utilize our nitrogen. And as now we're coming into this reproductive time when that corn plant is screaming for nitrogen, right now is when our massive need is coming for the end, and we want to make sure that our boron is in the sufficient category to help us do that. So here's the deal. It is not too late. You can pull tests tomorrow. We can send them to Midwest Labs overnight and probably have a reading back by Friday. Guys, this is something that can be fixed for $3-4 an acre, maybe as high as 10 or 12, depending on how much you need. But in tons and tons of reading on the internet, they were talking about 7 bushel, 12 bushel, 19 bushel. And we know on plots that have been ran, I know that Matt ran some plots up in northwest Iowa there. It was the very first thing he used with us was boron. And just boron by itself was 12 to 19 bushels. That's a tremendous increase, guys, even if it did take $9 an acre to get it. And so consequently, it's not going to be that we just put a shot out there in the dark and we say, hey, spend $9 or $18. We don't pick a number out of the air. What we're going to do is do the tissue test and let it tell us exactly how much we need, and we'll get after putting that on. And so the fact of the matter is, guys, 1/10 of 1 part per million can be a huge number in certain circumstances. So if you're interested in this and you'd like to get some more information, hit us up with a message right here on the Facebook page. Or if you're so desire, you can send us a text or give us a call at 641-919-1206. I hope you're having a better day.